Defense contractors excel at making quality parts and meeting delivery schedules. But with CMMC going live in fall 2025, even the smallest manufacturers have to prove strong cyber defenses to keep their contracts. The challenge: limited resources and complex requirements. The solution: artificial intelligence. AI is turning compliance from a burden to an advantage. This session is the AI Advantage, Unleashing Human Potential in Defense. Microsoft experts Manny Sahota, Director, Head of Regulatory Strategy, Justin Orcutt, Director of Cybersecurity, and Troy Arwine, Principal Security Solution Engineer, will show how AI tools like Microsoft 365 Copilot and Security Copilot can streamline compliance, strengthen defenses, and level the playing field for the DIB.
Hey, great. Thank you so much for the introduction here. Quickly walking through the agenda. We're going to first touch on digital trust and regulatory confidence, setting the foundation with Microsoft's Trust Center, Service Trust Portal, and Microsoft's Global Regulations Program, really highlighting our commitments on standards and frameworks, regulations to customers as well, enabling mission-ready compliance and AI confidence. Then we'll talk about intro to AI. We'll take a look at the fundamentals of AI, its rapid evolution, and defense-specific applications, AI transformation, real-world examples of AI accelerating readiness, logistics, and battlefield advantage, Copilot empowerment, how Microsoft Copilot augments workflows, supports analysis, and boosts mission performance, AI for the CMMC, aligning AI and Microsoft security with CMMC requirements and cyber readiness, helping organizations be cyber resilient in this digital first age. And then most importantly, Microsoft's AI commitments, right? Reinforcing Microsoft's approach to responsible AI, privacy, and global defense alignment. Moving on to the next slide. As we transition from this agenda into the heart of the discussion, it's really important to anchor ourselves in the realities of today's operating environment, right? Defense organizations are under enormous pressure, not just to innovate with AI, but also to do it securely, ethically, and in alignment with rapidly going this web and tsunami of regulations. We're seeing governments act fast, from CMMC to NIST frameworks in the US to NIST2 and EU AI Act, AI-specific legislations. These frameworks are no longer just checkbox, right? They're now operating model for digital trust. Threats are evolving. AI's become used to generate fake identities, launch real-time misinformation campaigns, and accelerate cross-border cyber attacks as well, right? Many ways, we're entering an era of new cyber warfare, right? That's why trust just can't be an afterthought anymore. It must be designed into your technology, into your governance, into your culture. Organizations here that lead with trust are not only secure, but they're more agile, compliant, and more confident in their AI adoption. So next, we'll show you how Microsoft organizations build this. Microsoft as an organization help customers build this foundation, starting with the Microsoft Trust Center. So here with the Microsoft Trust Center, this is the public-facing hub where customers, partner, regulators, they see exactly how Microsoft's building trust into every layer of our cloud and AI stack. So it's much more than just a web page. It's really a living source of truth of our commitments to customers around security, privacy, responsible AI, and most importantly, compliance transparency. So whether you were looking at third-party audit results, white papers, breach notifications practices, AI governance principles, if this information is all accessible here. This is really where trust builds. This is really where trust begins, and it's designed to scale across sectors, including defense. The Trust Center is the promises we make to our customers. On to the next slide. I want to highlight the Trust Center a bit more to see the availability to customers. It is a central hub for organizations to understand our approach to regulatory frameworks as well. It's our transparency platform, provides customers with necessary information to really align Microsoft products with their governance policies, right? So our goal here for Q1, we actually are doing an additional revamp, is to ensure customers can easily discover, access, privacy, regulatory compliance resources while reinforcing Microsoft's leadership in security and trust. Organizations and customers are not just looking for powerful technologies that need assurance. They want to see that it's secure, private, protected, and ensuring that compliance requirements are met. This is why the Trust Center is leading with trust rather than just product. Moving on to the next slide. Here we're talking about the Microsoft Global Regulations Program. Though the Trust Center is a public-facing foundation, behind the scenes internally, we've actually launched an initiative about 6 months ago called the Microsoft Global Regulations Program. This is our internal skill engine that supports, our internal national technology leaders, global black belts, executive leadership as well, to support external-facing leaders such as regulators, engineers, and customers worldwide. A few core components includes we have a whole entire internal site to scale 60,000 internal employees to have these conversations on, regulations, frameworks, and standards, commitments to customers across the themes of AI, digital safety, lawful access, cybersecurity, and privacy. Right. So this program gives our internal field really the ability to support customers in any conversation, no matter how complex the regulation may be. If we were to move on to the next. Service Trust Portal is the proof of the promises that we make to our customers, right? So we now have a authenticated customer hub accessing security, compliance, privacy, and regulations with granular documentation, right? So also by Q1, we will have an integration of a Copilot-powered search, which allows customers to ask specific questions, show me the CMC mappings specific for my product technologies to showcase to my auditor or regulator that I'm a cyber resilient foundation and I'm have a fairly optimal cybersecurity posture, right? So there's an opportunity for customers to type in Copilot search. We'll have relevant documentation to support them. And most importantly, there's a direct path to Microsoft with a 48-hour SLA, right? So there'll be a direct path for customers. It's actually called the Ask the Expert button, right? So more to come there. And what's most important about this is really communicating our support arm for our customers in this heavy regulated era. Now, finally, I just want to close with a quick call to action, right? Everything we covered, the Trust Center, the Microsoft Global Regulations Program, Service Trust Portal is really built around one core idea, which is giving you the tools to adopt AI and cloud securely, confidently, and in alignment with the laws that matter to your mission. So if you haven't heard already, you can connect with your Microsoft account executive, map your current cloud AI investments to CMMC, NIST 800, GDPR, whatever may impact your organization. In the interim, before the SDP is actually fully launched, there's a direct channel for customers, which is regulations@microsoft.com. So please feel free to reach out to us. Now we're going to move forward to explore this foundation of trust directly, which connects cybersecurity to frameworks. And Justin here is going to walk us through.
Thanks, Manny. I appreciate that. Before we get into cyber components, I think we should have a conversation about AI and where we are today related to AI. What is AI doing across the defense industrial base? What are examples of where AI is being leveraged? And ultimately, where is the government going with AI? It's difficult nowadays to have a conversation without AI coming up through that conversation. Why? Because AI is beginning to be integrated into everything we do. If you carry around an iPhone, you have Apple Intelligence on your phone. You could go into your pictures and you could tell it to create a short video for you in a natural language model. If you're using products like Microsoft's, you can leverage Copilot Chat to inquire and get answers and help get that starting point and be creative. So AI is everywhere. Consumer AI, more importantly, the two examples I just gave are everywhere. And governments around the world are trying to understand how AI could be used for government purposes. What are some advantages that AI could potentially provide to those governments and move forward on those. And when governments are pursuing AI deployments, they're thinking about how do we do this ethically? How do we do this in a way that's responsible? How do we do it in a way that does not violate some of our core principles, which I want to emphasize is extremely critical. The United States Department of Defense recently deployed an AI strategy. I'm sharing here just a couple of quotes that might be helpful for everyone and resonate. But again, I want to reiterate, there's no avoiding AI at this point. If your organization has a policy to block AI, that will likely evolve rapidly. And chances are you have users today that are using AI. AI is already being leveraged significantly throughout the defense industrial base. So 60% of organizations within defense believe AI is very important to them maintaining or increasing their competitive advantage. Think about that for a second. 60% of defense organizations believe AI is important to maintaining a competitive advantage. So for those organizations that want to block AI, that want to limit AI, think about this statistic a little bit. AI overall is a big market. That's why you see a lot of companies advertising and marketing using words associated with artificial intelligence or machine learning, because the market opportunity for those that invest in AI are absolutely astronomical. $17.2 billion for technologies that incorporate AI. And then if you look across Microsoft's base of customers, there's a wide variety of customers that have leveraged AI capabilities that have provided positive feedback. For instance, 40% of customers experienced increased speed in completing tasks associated with security activities, cybersecurity activities to be more exact. So the benefits of using AI, again, are pretty high, not only for the business as a whole and that revenue generating side, but also for the operational side and how you protect the business and how you ensure actions are being taken against risks. A few other statistics to think about as you talk to leaders about AI. 79% of all leaders, so not just defense now, we're looking across the board, believe AI is a business imperative. They're starting to strategize around AI. What is their AI strategy? What are the key components to their AI transformation? 79%. 60% say they lack a plan. They lack a plan with a vision to implement AI. That's an opportunity for everyone on this webinar. It's an opportunity to dig in and work with your company to start developing that plan and implementing that plan. And then 59% worry about being able to quantify the AI productivity gain. So anybody that uses AI or that has used AI really understands the impact that it has. But sometimes translating that impact into a quantifiable statistic or a ROI can initially be difficult. And sometimes it's difficult because it's a very spot use case that AI is addressing. AI transformation to support business growth. So we see that there's different areas where AI can ultimately help the business grow, right? We saw the earlier statistics about how many organizations think it's an imperative, how many organizations feel they lack a plan. There's two ways that AI is having an impact: personal productivity and then business value and business productivity. While those two are related, they're also unique and different. Overall, Microsoft sees 5 main areas of AI value. So it's how AI is affecting your culture and your organization overall. It's how AI is affecting your business strategy. It's how AI is affecting your experiences that you have, whether it's for customers or whether it's for internal employees. It's how AI is governed will determine how much value you get out of AI. And then how AI is impacted by your technology strategy. So let's just dig into some of these real quick. There's questions that you probably should ask yourself in order to determine if your organization is focusing on the right things to allow acceleration of AI. But when it comes to organizational culture, you want to ask yourself, do you have an established operating model to industrialize and enable the adoption of AI use across the business? And has your leadership clearly communicated that model and that vision from the top down? Individual users might be reluctant to leverage AI if they're not seeing those leaders present use cases of the value they're getting from AI or how they're using AI. Let me give you a quick example of other ways that organization and culture could be impacted in this area. And I won't talk about the other 4 areas in detail, but recently I participated in something called a prompt-a-thon. A promptathon is when somebody within an organization invites in a group of coaches, a group of teachers, teachers being somebody to teach end users. And we sit down with those end users and we help them develop the skills to prompt. We help them understand how to use AI. And we do that in partnership with leadership, right? So it's a training event, it's a workforce development event, and it drives that culture of how the business expects end users to leverage AI in their work or in their creative process or whatever it might be that their day-to-day job is, because it gives leadership the opportunity to say what's acceptable, what's not acceptable, and reinforce policies. So where are the main opportunities? We talked about different areas where AI has an impact and how you could drive further impact. But what are the opportunities overall that your business could pursue where ROI is quantifiable? And we see 5. Enriching the employee experience, reinventing customer engagement, reshaping business processes, and bending the curve on innovation. Let's talk about enriching the employee experience. So I'm gonna stay on that theme as we talk throughout today. It's all about an AI strategy that makes your people more productive and more engaged. Ask yourself, are your employees enjoying their work? Can they enjoy their work more if they were empowered with AI? A positive employee experience is absolutely critical to attracting and retaining top talent, which is needed for the next generation of growth in any company. And within the defense industrial base, there's a lot of legacy technologies that are used. There's a lot of applications. There's a lot of hesitation to adopt new technologies like AI. For individual employees, they have an opportunity to go to a defense industry-based business or a non-defense industry-based business. And what we find is in order to continue that innovation, in order to continue that growth, enabling newer technologies is absolutely critical to helping those businesses continue to grow. And let me just touch on one other one, which is reshaping business processes with AI. So traditional business processes often provide artifacts of human workflows. By reimagining those processes with an AI-first approach, you could streamline operations and increase efficiencies. You could leverage AI agents and co-pilots working alongside your team to amplify what they're doing and to increase that human ambition, because now they could take on more work. They could get more done. They could see the results of their work faster, and they could be creative with additional team members because they could, again, move faster. So these are all significant benefits that you could pursue, significant opportunities that you could pursue. As you think about how to pursue these things, we also have a couple of thoughts on approaches. So continuing on the framework that I'm sharing here, there's approaches for AI transformation across the 4 pillars that I just shared. There's 3 key strategies that we believe are essential in unlocking the full potential of AI in your business. The first one is co-pilot empowerment. Co-pilot empowerment is all about making sure that every user across the enterprise has equal and equitable access to the AI technologies. And you might ask yourself, why? Why co-pilot for everyone? The reason for that is you never really know where innovation is going to come from. And you want to make sure that you're giving everybody the opportunity to innovate equally and to demonstrate where they get ROI. If you do a limited use case or a limited proof of concept within AI, let's forget about Copilot for a minute, you might not receive the same ROI models because, again, it was limited in nature. So you want to make sure that everybody has access to these tools. That way you could see where AI could really have an impact on your business. The second area is differentiated AI solutions. So once you've exhausted the ability to use a commercial off-the-shelf AI solution, which has been pre-designed with lots of end-user scenarios, you want to think about differentiated AI. What are the things that your business does differently? What are the processes that could be chained together that can help you move the needle more on your business and grow your business? Oftentimes, connecting things like agents and co-pilot and human ambition in order to grow. So when you pair every employee with Copilot, and then you empower them to build their own agents, you're also able to run that differentiated AI. Now, the last piece of the equation is the cybersecurity foundation. So if you want to take advantage, and I apologize, I'm flipping through these slides the way I am. If you really want to transform your business using AI, cybersecurity is a critical component. The cybersecurity foundation is what will allow you to fully take advantage of AI. Without a solid foundation, you might leave yourself exposed to risks that are known and unknown. So it's critical that as you think through the opportunities that you want to pursue, make sure that you're laying the solid foundation first to ensure that you do not run into any unintended consequences. Okay, now, transforming your organization with Copilot and agents. Again, there's AI-powered productivity tools out there, there's business process automation tools, and there's commercial AI applications. All of these things are designed to help you transform your business and move faster. Along the first area that we started walking down, which is improve employee experience, let's just dive into that a little bit more and show some results. Microsoft recently empowered every employee across the globe with AI. And what did we see? When we followed that approach, in order to improve the employee experience, we had astronomical gains. So for starters, 9.4% higher revenue per seller, and 20% more deals closed in our sales organization. Those are incredible numbers for a very short amount of time. We also found that resolving customer service cases increased. So we reached 12% faster resolution of customer support issues. We've seen a huge increase in conversation rates across our marketing organization. So 21% increases in conversion rates of our marketing team. And then in HR, we've had a 42% improvement in the accuracy of answering employee questions or candidate questions, which ultimately leads to a great experience, right? How many people have reached out to HR with a need and maybe it takes a little while to get that answer? So what could agents do for you to improve your employee experience? Think about some of these areas. So think about your help desk. How could it impact your help desk? How could you use AI? And moving from left to right, we're looking at what could be commercial solutions out of the box versus on the right, these might be more differentiated AI solutions, all with that cybersecurity foundation, all with the intent of improving the employee experience. So, you could leverage it with help desk or self-service agents or budget management or project tracking, sales orders, testing of different technologies. I know this is a lot of information to consume. We've already covered a lot, but I want to share with you some KPIs that you could leverage. I want to share with you some data of how you could track ROI if you are to try to pursue any of these opportunities. In this case, we're trying to demonstrate the value of AI for IT in particular. We're trying to demonstrate different areas within IT, the different key processes. And we're trying to share scenarios that those key processes leverage. With each scenario, we have different KPIs that can be tracked. Those KPIs then translate into ROI. So save this as a reference, refer back to this, and hopefully it'll help you as you think, how can I transform my business, which is a defense contractor, using AI? That IT scenario really is a quick win, because you are able to think about change management or user adoption. How can AI impact onboarding and training of new users? Or how could it help with our help desk in driving resolution? Or how could it help with our IT outsourcing costs? AI is an incredible opportunity for you and your business. Okay, last slide before I turn it over to my friend Troy. This is about very specific opportunities within the DIB. These are all areas that we're currently seeing being leveraged by defense contractors today. We have some great blogs about each of these. We'd be happy to share that afterwards. Feel free to connect with Manny, Troy, or myself on LinkedIn or over email. You guys should have all of our contact information. So 5 areas. We're not going to talk through all of them. We'll focus on cybersecurity. That way we could turn it over to Troy. So with cybersecurity, we see the DIB leveraging AI and machine learning. This has been going on for a while. The recent innovation is really around using generative AI and being able to use natural language in order to ask questions of your data and get responses. But historically, AI has been leveraged for cybersecurity to gain quicker context into incidents, quicker triage, more actionable results, actionable summaries, and step-by-step guidance on what to do, right? Write me this Python script to do X, Y, Z. You're able to do that. That way you can have a bigger impact on cybersecurity. Okay, with that, Troy, I am going to pass it over to you. Thank you, everyone, for your time and attention.
Thank you, Justin. As a solutions engineer for the defense industrial base, spent a lot of time talking with the defense industry about cybersecurity maturity and the CMMC compliance, the 2.0 compliance that's required. With CMMC, it is a requirement by the federal government, but there's a lot of challenges with that, right? There's complex tool sets with cybersecurity. There's the issue of compliance posture drifts, so you set things up and then over time, as small incremental changes have become security relevant. So if you're trying to keep up with the NIST 800-171 controls, it may not be compliant over time. So how do you measure that compliance drift? Sophisticated attacks, as mentioned earlier, AI is assisting the attackers. How do you deal with that? Diverse and complex environments. We have a lot of defense contractors that sometimes have a lot of commercial work as well. Maybe they're in multiple cloud environments, and it can be complicated to get security across both environments and get compliant across multiple environments. And there's always a shortage of cyber talent and expertise. That's been a problem for a while. It's not improved drastically in the last few years, and that's going to probably continue to go for a while. So AI can assist with this as well. And then time to compliance. With the audits coming up, you have to be compliant to keep the contracts. So it's very important. So that allows us to, take an advantage of AI for a paradigm shift. Like when you're working with a car, if you only go to the maintenance when something breaks. I have a problem right now with my AC in my car, and the AC's out, and it takes weeks to get that fixed potentially. So AI, though, allows us to go from reactive to proactive, from siloed individual solutions to an integrated solution where things communicate with each other. So security tools, your SIM talks with your extended detection and response agent, which talks to your email security, from static to dynamic, from manual to automated. And so in the industry in general, business, it makes sense, for ROI, but from cybersecurity, it's even more important to keep you rolling, keep you secured, keep you operational, and then protect in the defense industry, especially with secrets that could potentially affect national security. So with the advent of generative AI and advanced large language models, plus Microsoft security, combining those together really gives us a synergistic approach to cyber skills and prompt books. So a prompt book is, kind of a curated set of prompts that are reusable. And so those can be used multiple times over and over without having to start from scratch. For evergreen threat intelligence, not just having threat intelligence that's updated and refreshed, but also it is context aware. We have the ability to use AI for plugins, for security specific orchestration, and then as we scale for hyperscale infrastructure, right? So Copilot can help with all of these. So as you're enhancing security operations, AI can come into play for multiple roles. So one of the biggest advantages, and one of the most difficult things I had as a security operations working at SOC, was trying to get threat reports out to multiple levels of technical expertise, or not necessarily technical expertise, but interest as far as a role. So if I were generating something for a CISO, they're probably not going to care about the specific IP address and attributes around a specific device. They may be interested in, well, what nation did that IP address come from that did this attack? They may be interested in what kind of campaigns are going on that affect this industry from this location. And then you have a technical user, a SOC analyst. They do care about that. They want to know okay, this IP address was connected to this internal machine, and it was also connected to a phishing email an hour before that, and that was also related to a threat campaign across on the West Coast for a different customer in the same industry. So bringing that together with AI so that I can take security operations, I can accelerate our investigation or remediation versus waiting for a human to go through and correlate things together. And then reverse engineering malicious scripts. I've spent time de-obfuscating PowerShell, to find out if it's malicious or not, because it's not human readable. With AI, you can do that much, much faster. For threat intelligence analysts, I can enrich it with unified threat intelligence. I can accelerate the speed of threat hunting, taking real-time threat intelligence, and then using the AI to help me leverage that. So I can use autonomous AI agents to automate these tasks for multiple teams. And beyond the SOC, when you're looking at compliance for CMMC or other compliance requirements that you are under based on your industry or regulatory requirements, the AI agents can help you have visibility quickly into issues. One of those could be proactive data security posture management. I can discover gaps in my controls. So I've set it up, and by policy I have this set, but is it really actually configured like that in my cloud settings? For the IT administrator, for risk investigations, accelerating troubleshooting issues that come up. For the identity administrators, getting visibility into user sign-ins, risky applications, especially for conditional access. I have policies that don't allow outside CONUS logins. I can have that automated. So how does this translate into business value? Not just cyber value. We can look at the evolution of this through different channels. So for device management, before Copilot, understanding how the device management, learning schemas, the technical concepts were challenged. They're manual. For an IT administrator to troubleshoot, they may have an alert. You have to go find something that's wrong with the system. When I get to AI prompts, I can use more natural language to say, hey, list all devices registered in Intune or Intra. And then for each device, show me the name, the operating system, the last check-in time. That it speeds up the queries. With Security Copilot, though, I can now take that, I can create KQL queries so that those are available and they can be customized for the IT admins. Next one. For identity and access management, similar. So I can, before Copilot, before I had generative AI, I could secure access and protect identities. It's still crucial. There's no change in the risk since AI was made, but it makes it easier. With a prompt, I can say, tell me about a user, show me the log audits, what they did last week, show me the sign-ins for that user, and I can make some correlations that way. With Copilot, I can provide user summaries, audit logs, get sign-in associated with the user, reducing the time that it takes for an admin to investigate a risky user and troubleshoot the sign-in issues. For the conditional access optimization, I can quickly identify security gaps, I can do one-click fixes, and I can secure access as conditions change. So I can have real-time response to the environment as something changes in the environment, so I don't have to do this manually. Again, a speed in the SOC operations or any kind of operations for security or compliance is crucial for making sure that you're meeting the requirements and you're able to respond to the threats that are going faster than humans could think. With looking at data posture management, there's no way any human can have visibility into all the data across the environment. It's just not possible. I spent years working in security operations where you're looking across different data sets, across SharePoint drives, across OneDrive, across private file shares, across cloud storage systems, and you're trying to get all that data to find out what's been leaked, what's the security. And unless you discover it in some public repository somewhere, it's going to be very difficult to know what was potentially shared. With AI prompts, I can, query what sensitive files were shared outside the org from SharePoint last week. With Security Copilot, I can take data security teams and have them discover and manage previously unseen risk. I can accelerate the processes and strengthen the data security within the centralized insights and guide our investigations. So to really improve our security operations at the same time, making it more secure overall, as well as making it easier on the life of the agents.
Awesome job, Troy. Thanks for sharing that. I want to emphasize, right, defense contractors have to do two things really, really well. One is maintain the control of CUI, right? Where does it go in the enterprise? Where is it going outside the enterprise? That last example of data protection and data posture management, as AI gets adopted throughout the world, as you no longer have the control over what your end users potentially are using, right? Depends. Are you white labeling every application and denying all, or what are you doing? You want to make sure that you're controlling the flow of CUI, and AI changes when you adopt it. AI can change your ability to see those unknown risks and make sure you're properly protecting CUI. And then, protect the access to CUI. Again, another core critical component for defense contractors. The earlier example that Troy shared just reinforces the speed at which you could go to with AI. You could ask AI to tell you when somebody had access to a specific document, a specific location, which ways did they authenticate into the system, using which devices, and it could give you a report quite quickly. None of this is possible without trustworthy AI, though. Microsoft has made commitments to our AI, and we've built in capabilities that are foundationally rooted in security, privacy, and overall safety. And this extends across your entire estate as well. So you can secure everything from your core network to your endpoints to your identity and applications and data that your organization runs on. Let's talk about each one of these components, knowing how much time we have. Again, I'll focus the conversation on one of these. If we look at just security for a second, so in addition to our first-party offerings, our AI services come with foundational security controls, such as built-in functions to help prevent against things like prompt injection or copyright violations. Building on those, we have a variety of new capabilities that we recently brought online. So, for instance, new evaluation capabilities inside one of our products called Azure AI Studio. This helps simulate adversarial interactions with your AI applications and assess how often your model defenses work, and this supports proactive risk assessments. And with our Copilot product, Microsoft 365 Copilot, we provide transparency into web searches to help admins and users better understand how those web searches enhance the Copilot responses. So again, not all AI is built the same. We are thinking through a variety of scenarios as related to these three areas, and we're building in capabilities that help your business. Our AI is also digitally resilient. We, as Manny mentioned earlier, we map our solutions to a variety of different compliance regulations. We focus on responsible operations. So that includes, where does data reside? How is data encrypted? How is data protected? And then we leverage partnerships that we have in order to provide that confidential compute. When you think about empowering all users with AI, as you think about transforming your business using one of the opportunities that we mentioned earlier, one way to think about it is by leveraging M365 Copilot as an AI assistant for all your users. And again, thinking through three different areas: security, governance, and compliance, and privacy. You can, again, use this as a reference slide as ways that you could provide value to the business. So using an AI assistant like Microsoft's, we're going to honor existing permissions of end users. So anyone that uses that solution, part of the security model of it is that AI that's being used by that individual user will only have access to the things that that individual user has. In addition, if they generate a document, if they generate an artifact, say, for instance, you're going through a CMMC assessment and you have a specific label associated with your policies, that label will be inherited by any new artifact that you generate using AI, which is extremely important, right? Because within that sensitivity label, you might have access controls of who could access that document. Maybe some of those documents you don't want available for the full business. Maybe some of those documents you don't want to have be shared outside your organization. You're able to configure that It is a way to have label inheritance, but first you need to have the sensitivity labels. Okay, let's wrap this up. So if you're ready to get started, if you're ready to move forward, what could you do today in order to get started? Really, the beginning is let's learn more together. I'm sharing here 3 different links. You could, click through to any of these, and what this will allow you to do is learn about different solutions that Microsoft has. These are pre-built solutions that you could use to empower every user with AI. Copilot Studio allows you also to build that differentiated AI. All of these allow you to do that with a cybersecurity foundation in mind. If you feel like you have a good understanding of each of these technologies and you have a particular interest area, you could participate in an envisioning session or workshop at one of our innovation hubs, formerly called MTCs. And you could work with your Microsoft account team or your partner, CyberChief, to schedule that session and come into our office and let's strategize together. And if you're looking for customer stories on previous successes using AI, whether it's in the defense industry or other industries, we have lots of those examples to help you get started. And if you're already moving forward, if you have already begun to adopt, we have resources available to help you maximize your ROI. I mentioned a promptathon earlier. That is all part of our success kit. So feel free to reach out, feel free to engage these resources, and hopefully this helps you understand how the defense industry can leverage AI in order to help their business along those main opportunity areas that we mentioned. All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you again for your attention. And we look forward to collaborating with you in the near future.
What a powerful look at how AI can turn compliance from a heavy lift to a real advantage. From faster incident response to automated compliance monitoring, today's session showed that even small contractors can harness enterprise-grade security with the right tools. A big thank you to Manny, Justin, and Troy for sharing their insights.